I'm Jeff Bullock, and I'm a CPA and an MBA. And I've had a lot of people ask, why is the housing market going up? Why are prices going up? Why are we seeing um, so much inflation? I hear, there's a shortage in houses and so on and so forth. Now, there's a lot that goes into each of these, but one of the big things that I think we are running into in our generation, and that this video is on, is that this generation doesn't want to act poor. Right? We want what our parents had. Now, of course, like I said before, this is just a small portion of what is happening. There is inflation. There's governmental issues, different things that are happening that are going to be raising the prices. But at the same time, we are a generation that wants what our parents currently have. If you look back at things, you'll be able to see through history, we're definitely living a lot better lifestyle. I wanted to kind of talk a little bit about that. So the first one that you see, of course, everybody is talking about housing prices, and I agree, housing prices are really, really high. One of the biggest things that I think that we're getting from this is not that there's a shortage of houses. If you look at the supply and demand of things, if there is more demand, then production will go up and there will be more supply, right? So it's not necessarily that there's a shortage. Of course, there are other things that are raising these prices, but I also think that our generation is willing to get into more debt. And 500,000 seems to be about the amount that we are willing to get into debt with houses, right? And so we're saying as long as it's 500,000 or less, that's where we're going to stay. And so you're seeing this three-bedroom houses are kind of raising to that $500,000 limit, and other houses that would be a lot more expensive are lowering to about that $500,000 limit, right? We don't really want to spend anything more than that. You also are seeing, it's really hard to sell $1 million+ houses because of this. We only want to get $500,000 in debt with the house. That's where we are at in our generation, and so you're seeing that kind of this is where everything is settling. Smaller houses and larger houses are all settling around this amount. Now it could be different, it could be about 400,000, whatever it is, but it seems like our generation right around this amount is where we are wanting to settle, right? And we want that nicer house. We're not going to buy a cheap fixture upper. I mean, even fixture uppers are going for higher prices, but we are wanting to have a house even before we can afford it. And we are willing to get into more debt. This is a similar thing to what I said before. We don't want to be poor. We don't want to look poor. We want, I guess you could say, that social media life, right? The next thing that you're seeing is a gig economy. You're seeing a whole bunch of people are picking up second jobs, and what this is the average is now rising, right? As the average, if we were okay with just having the one job, then not everybody would be paid. You would be just average, right? And nobody wants to be just average. They want to have a little bit higher lifestyle, better lifestyle than their neighbor, and so therefore they're saying, how do I get one up on my neighbor? Well, one of the options is to have that gig economy, so they can, so they pick up another job so that they can afford this better lifestyle. They don't want to be poor. They don't want to act poor. They're willing to, get another job in order for them not to do that. And so you're seeing this gig economy really growing, and a lot more people are picking up second jobs. And this is the same thing with married couples, where you're having the husband and the spouse are both working, because that has now become the norm. Now, if you're going to do something different than the norm, that means you're going to have to live at a more poor lifestyle. And people are not willing to do that. The next thing you're seeing again with married couples is less children. This is again, if you have more children, there's going to be more expenses, and you don't really want to have those more expenses. And so, because you don't want to act poor, you don't want to live poor, you're going to be cutting down expenses. And one of the things that a lot of people are cutting out are the amount of children that they're having, right? So this again is showing that we don't really want to be poor. We want to have what our parents have had, what our parents have currently, and in order to do that, we're going to be giving up some things that we're willing to give up. And possibly this is what we were willing to give up, is to have smaller and smaller families, maybe not even have a family, not even have children. All right, and the other thing that you can see with this is that when you're driving along, you'll see that there are pretty much only new cars on the road. back not even that far back, maybe 10, 20 years ago, a lot of the cars were beater cars, right? Especially if you go into college or high school, it's going to be beater cars that you're going to be seeing. Right now, there are a lot more brand new cars that are going to be driving along, a lot less dense, things like that, right? This is, again, like I was saying, people are not really wanting to budget. They're not really wanting to wait for that lifestyle. They're wanting to go out and buy it, whether or not that means that they're going to get more debt or not, or maybe pick up another job. But they want that lifestyle, and so they are going to be pushing for it. That means that the average is going to be going up higher, more work, and that means more debt. And that means that everybody else is going to be wanting the same. You're going to be saying, well, I just want to be average. Well, now the average, that level of average is bumping up every time that our generation wants more and more things, right? Or we are comparing to the people around us. So, what do you do in this situation? What is the best thing to do? The best thing is really just to focus again on yourself. Look at yourself, look at what you can afford, stay within your financial means. Right? Don't worry about the people around you. You really can have a good time, a good life with the things that you have, and that slow and steady progress that you can make with your finances is really going to be what helps the most in the long run. Don't worry about trying to keep up with your neighbor. That's going to make it so that you're going to have to be paying a lot on interest, a lot in debt. The best thing to do is just focus on your own situation and what really matters the most in your situation, and what you really can afford, right? So again, what you can do about this is staying within your means. Right, and that is what I have for you. All right, the best thing to do right now is just staying within your means and budget. And if you like this video, like and subscribe. And I'll be sharing one of these videos every week to help people with their finances and to help people so that they can have the money as well as the happiness, and not just one or the other. All right, thank you. Bye.